The Song of Us. It was one of those quiet Sunday afternoons, the kind where the world seemed to slow down and everything felt a little more intimate. The sun hung low in the sky, casting soft golden rays through the trees. In the small town where we had grown up together, nothing ever changed, but everything felt different that day. That day, it felt like something big was about to happen. I sat in my room, playing the old guitar my grandmother had given me. It was nothing special, just an acoustic with a few nicks and scratches, but to me, it was everything. I hadn't written much in the past few years. Life had gotten in the way, but there was something about the quiet in the air that made me want to play. The sound of the front door creaking open reached my ears, followed by the familiar voice of Sarah. She was the one who always knew how to make me smile, even on the hardest days. "Hey, you still up there?" she called out. I chuckled and looked out the window. Always. She appeared at the door a moment later, her curly hair bouncing with each step. I could see the smile on her face even before she said anything. "You playing again?" "Yeah, just messing around." I shrugged, setting the guitar down and leaning back on the bed. She walked over to me and sat down beside me, her eyes scanning the guitar like it was an old friend she hadn't seen in years. "You know, you used to write some beautiful songs." I shrugged again, feeling a slight pang of self-consciousness. "I haven't felt inspired in a while." Sarah tilted her head. "You sure about that?" She raised an eyebrow. "I think you've got a song in you. I can tell." I chuckled at her optimism. Sarah always had a way of believing in me when I couldn't believe in myself. It was one of the reasons I'd always loved her. We sat there in silence for a moment, the weight of unspoken words hanging between us. I glanced at her, wondering if she knew. I wondered if she felt the same pull I did, the undeniable connection we'd always had, the one that had been there since we were kids. We had spent so much of our lives together, and yet I couldn't shake the feeling that we were standing on the edge of something bigger. "Do you remember when we were kids?" I asked, breaking the silence. "When we used to write songs together in your garage?" She laughed softly, her eyes lighting up. "How could I forget? You used to make me sing the silly ones you wrote just to make me laugh." I smiled, remembering the songs that had been little more than nonsense, but to us, they were everything. We had dreamed of being musicians, of writing songs that would make people feel like we felt when we were together, alive, connected, like we belonged in the same world. "I wonder if we could write a song like that now," I said quietly. Sarah turned to look at me, her face serious for a moment. "You still have that magic in you, you know." I shook my head, but I couldn't hide the smile tugging at the corners of my mouth. "I don't know. Life's been different." She reached over, placing a hand on mine. "Maybe it's time to find it again." Her touch sent a ripple of warmth through me, and for a brief moment, I didn't feel the weight of all the years that had passed between us. It was as if we were right back there, writing those goofy songs together. Only this time things felt different. We were different. We had grown, but we hadn't grown apart. "You really think we can do it?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "Why not?" she said, her voice confident but soft. "We've always had something special. You and me. We just have to believe in it again." And in that moment, something shifted inside of me. It wasn't just the nostalgia of our childhood dreams or the comfort of her words. It was something more. It was the realization that we had always been a team. That, no matter how far life took us, we always seemed to find our way back to each other. I grabbed my guitar again, my fingers now moving with purpose, as if the melody had always been waiting for me to return. Sarah leaned in, her voice filling the air as she hummed along, adding harmonies that felt like they were meant to be. The song began to take shape, slowly at first. We started with just a few chords and a simple melody, but as we played, the lyrics started to come. The words spilled out like they had been waiting to be said for so long. We sang about the way we had always understood each other without words, about the years that had passed and the memories that had lingered. We sang about the feeling of finally coming home, no matter where we had been. As the song came together, I realized it wasn't just about us. It was about the love that had been there all along, waiting for us to see it. It was about the connection we shared, the one that had never wavered, even when we were apart. By the time we finished, the sun had set, and the stars were beginning to fill the sky. We sat in the quiet of the room,